Good morning. Let's call the special meeting to order, please. Today's Thursday, September the 20th. We're here at the Civic Center. We have a one item agenda, which is the discussion and appointment of a interim city administrator. Packet reflects we had 2 applicants, and Chair will open the floor for discussion. Whoever.
Well, I think both of them are qualified. There's also issues with both of them. I would not want to particularly appoint one today. I think we need to talk to them as a group because one of the things, because of some issues, some of us up here have had issues with them. Some of them have had issues with us. And for me, an interim is someone that will carry our city and bridge between, full-time and so forth. And I want to make sure everybody's capable of playing in the sandbox nicely. We don't need rocks thrown. That reflects on our city if we can't do it. So I think everyone up here is professional and we can, but I want to make sure that the other 2 that we talk to and make sure they understand that for that time period, it's strictly the city.
Well, I agree they're both qualified. I don't feel a need to have them come and talk to us or be questioned, because in my mind, an interim is somebody that is going to keep the city running smoothly. It's not like they are being hired for a full-term, long-term position. We know their background. We know them. They've either been appointed or elected to the council. So I personally don't see any need, and I would like to just make a decision today and move on and start with the next phase in this situation.
I agree that both of them, have the qualifications. I don't have a problem either deciding today. I think both of them are professional enough to do the job that's required to do.
Well, if there's a problem down the road, this is the interim position. So it could last 5 months, it could last 4 days. It all depends on this group setting up here. And if things are not going well, then we can change. If things are going well, okay. And because I think we've had, 7 applicants for the position? Is that right?
Might be at 8, 7 or 8.
7 or 8. Normally, we would have expected to have, 20 at least?
We'll see on the 1st of October.
Yeah. So, no, I'm for making a decision and moving on.
Okay, is there, I want to just open the floor then for a motion.
I'll make a motion, and I'm going to make a motion for Tanya, and let me explain why. Both Tom and Tanya served on this council. Tanya was elected and campaigned a couple of times, and so at that time a number of citizens put faith in her, and she served longer on the council. So my recommendation is for Tanya, and I do agree, I'll have to make my motion again, I'm sure, but I do agree with Jerry that if it's not working out, we can always just say, we can basically release her and start over. It's not like we're giving her a yearly contract or anything like that. So my motion is for Tanya to do the interim.
I have a motion and a second. Is there a second?
A second.
We have a second. Discussion? David? I have a few comments. I agree that she is qualified. I agree that she has, that her resume, that she can perform the duties as an interim. but I think it's important, and I say this based on things that happened while she sat at this table. One of the biggest drawbacks, and she spent an enormous amount of time questioning the form of government that we operate under. It is on the record, her position about how she thinks government should operate when she sat here, and if she's going to apply for the position of city administrator, that cannot be, as Bill so eloquently put it, we need to play in the same sandbox. We cannot play and expect our citizens to be accepting of someone that thinks that they're operating under one form of government and we're operating under another. And I wouldn't bring that up except that she was so enthusiastic and she made it, she was emphatic that when she served here that we were not a mayor-council form of government. That's a big issue for someone that's now going to apply for the position of city administrator. That job should be apolitical. It's not a political position. And I'm questioning not her ability to perform the job. I'm questioning the tenacity by which she attacks things by being ensured that she's proven correct. And if the form of government we operate under, if she's on page 3 and we're on page 10, that's not going to work. And unless she's changed her position, unless she's more accepting of the format under which the city of Mexico Beach operates, I see that appointment as unhealthy for this city. If she has changed or is not so emphatically determined to show that we are not who we say we are, then I support her. But until I know that, I'm not going to support her. Until I know that.
Well, then I would encourage her.
So that may be a question I need to
I
ask her.
understand, but I'm
Not
saying
myself.
if that's the case and there's problems, and as I indicated at first, if any of these candidates that we would approach, knowing the feelings of the council, feel that they cannot perform up to the ability that the council needs, then they need not to accept if we approach them. in
I
different-
understand. I just want to be upfront with I think she has great ability to perform as an interim. I really do. But we can't do it. She does come with
We all come with
political
baggage.
baggage.
We all come with baggage.
But we're not looking to sit at the position of the city administrator.
All of us could,
So,
though. Okay.
and when you have that, and you choose to put yourself in, by submitting an application, I don't think it's something that can be ignored. And if I'm the only one that wants to know the answer to that, then I'll be glad to discuss. I sort of agree. I don't see any reason to parade those folks in here. I really do not.
No, it's
I
an
don't. We
interim.
know who they are. We know
Right.
they're what they put on paper speak for themselves. But that would be my question for her, because that's significant, and it's significant to how people feel about how she would be involved in the operation of the city. So, with that said, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
You have anything to say?
Anybody? Bill, you good? Rex, you good? Okay.
I have one point of clarification. Are we going to discuss wage after that or include it in this
I
motion?
think that'll come after,
Okay.
or should come after. Let's just
Perfect.
see where we go right here. All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Ms. Albrecht?
Yes.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
And I've had that discussion with this person that the mayor's talking about, and I would say yes.
Mr. Putnell?
Yes.
Okay, Next comes while we're, is to make some decisions of who is going to, somebody's got to sit down and talk with her about salary. What are we preparing to do? On a interim basis, she would be considered just a regular employee of the city. Entitled, are we looking at this with no?
It's up to the council. You can make her a contractor or an employee. I think for interim last time, John McGinnis was a contractor and Marcus Collins was an employee, and it was their preference at the time, because Marcus was in the FRS system, John was not. So I think as a council, it's your decision whether to treat it as a
Right. I thought-
contractor or...
So the contract, then it's, here is the money you're making and we pay no fringe benefits.
You're making blank an hour and you're going to get a 1099 at the end of the year.
Right, okay. And so
That makes sense.
we will save that kind of money that we're paying now. Okay,
That's
Well,
all.
if that's accepted.
Well, I think
Yeah.
contract's the way
Well,
to
you
go
know,
for short term.
well, that's true, but I think it's, I think it, well, it could be by the time we're through talking. That's what I would
Well, I-
suggest.
I understand, I'm just saying, you know, if you're negotiating that, you're negotiating.
Right.
If you're gonna submit it as, here's what we're offering you, then that's,
Well, I think we can negotiate, but that's what I want to do.
all right.
To do contract.
And,
Yeah, that's
and
the cheap-
what would we pay her?
That's the cheapest for the city.
You currently pay $39.62 an hour. That's your current wage you're paying.
For the administrator,
Correct.
Are we looking for an 8-hour-a-day person? Is that what we're looking for?
I would think so. I would think same hours that the city's open.
yeah.
Okay, well, I mean,
That's my opinion.
you know, from our previous interims, we could have done with less.
Okay.
Is my
Okay,
point.
okay.
Well, I think, 8-hour a day, if we don't do a full as we do with a full administrator, basically an 8-hour a day, and anytime they have to be in the meetings, then if you want to say they get comp time,
No.
then say,
Well,
okay.
they-
Now, I would suggest that we talk to the interim and discuss hours instead of dictating.
Okay.
So then we could just put this on the agenda for the next meeting?
Well, I said earlier, either Bill or Linda, the purpose of the interim is to keep the wheels on the wagon.
Absolutely.
That's all we're doing. We
Yeah.
aren't looking for somebody to submit a new personnel
No.
policy.
No.
We're not looking, so,
I can shed a little bit of light. Both of them have talked to me in the past week because they applied with me. So Mr. Bailey wasn't going to be back in town until Monday, was going to try and work with Mel 2 days next week to get caught up to speed, know what was going on. Miss Castro leaves town on Monday for the week, and she was going to come in this afternoon and tomorrow if she was the one appointed and work with Mel if he was available. Neither one said anything about contract versus hourly, but I think they'd both be open to it because they both, I believe, have benefits and don't need the benefits. So I can't answer that part, but I can answer when they're going to come and try and do some transitioning. But that's what I know from what they've relayed to me on the phone.
well, I think that someone at this table should be designated the person to sit down and talk with her about what a wage, her hours, her expectations of, again, I don't think it has to be 8 hours. I don't say that it couldn't be, I just don't think it has to be. We're talking about answering correspondence, returning phone calls, keeping the files that are ongoing projects, and I don't see that as,
I think that we can, it's less expensive, definitely, to make it less than 8 hours. However, again, we want to make sure our city is covered and our employees are covered with their needs as much as possible. I think we did that by pulling back with the code enforcement, and we've lost a couple of code enforcement people because they feel that that is an 8-hour-a-day job. I think it's an 8-hour-a-day job, and I think for the short term that we're going into as an interim, we should maintain the 8-hour day. for the administrator. Yes, that administrator may be able to do it in less time, I'm not sure. But I would rather err on the side of having a person here when needed than someone walking in and say, geez, he had the afternoon off because we only employ him X number of hours, or her, or whomever. So I would rather go ahead with the 8-hour.
Yeah, I like the 8-hour thing, and if it goes over 8 hours, then that's just something this person's donating to the city as far as I look at it. I don't believe in paying over, I don't believe in
They're a
paying
citizen,
overtime.
and they want the best for the city too.
Right.
Well,
Or,
maybe I'm the one that needs to negotiate.
I got, I think both of them are professional enough. If
Yeah.
it takes 8 hours, it'll take. If it takes 6, I don't think they're looking to pull 8 hours.
No, but I think we should make it available as an 8-hour, if I still feel it.
and if there's an evening meeting, which they will have to attend, then, or a meeting outside of the normal business day, then just shorten their hours that day so that they are there
Okay.
to get it covered.
I mean, what's wrong with just saying it's a contract job, here's what you're getting paid an hour, and the job includes all this other stuff, and if you don't want to do all this other stuff, then you don't need to take the job. I like to have it black and white, no possibilities of this or that or whatever. I'd like to have a total, flat-out understanding of what we expect from this person. And I expect from this person to work and be paid 8 hours a day, and whatever goes with it, goes with it. And I think either one of these two people would have said, okay, we'll do that.
Well, what are we gonna pay, what are you, we're
Al,
paying
can I say
now?
one more thing
Yeah,
before you go
absolutely.
there?
Yeah, yeah.
And knowing these two people, I think we would be naive to sit here and think that they're going to come there and answer the phone and never say or do anything that some of us may not like, or attack what they perceive may be a problem or address it. I think we would be a little naive to sit here and think that that's what they're going to do, answer the phone and talk to people. And,
No, I agree.
okay,
No,
just bring it
So
up.
you said 39, what, 60? or-
3962 is the current salary, which was set to change October 1st to 4081 per the budget. If you go contracted, that eliminates all of the benefit cost. That's just the hourly rate then.
But that's based on somebody making $85,000 a year. I don't think an interim should be at that level.
what do you think?
Both of these people, even with their backgrounds, on an interim basis, that's excessive.
What would you suggest?
I would suggest a $60,000 a year salary, which is what we advertised for a full-time job, and whatever that works out,
2885.
that's what I would suggest. And I would not be as lenient as what I've heard at the table about their hours. I would not, I don't see a need for 8 hours a day.
I'd like to see 8 hours a day, and I'd split the difference on the money. That's just my feelings.
Split the difference between what and what? 60 and 80?
Yes.
On a $70,000 a year position for them,
Yes.
I think the 60 is appropriate if there is a pushback from them saying, we just can't do it for that, then I think that's a negotiation point. But I think the 60,
I agree.
So why not just, you said what, $28, $29, it was
It was
something like 20.
2885.
So why not just make it $30 an hour, even number, $30 an hour, 8 hours a day? That's closer to your 60,000.
I don't know, I didn't, the guy over there with those
Yeah,
numbers,
with the-
is that close to the number of 60,000 a year?
62,400.
At $30 an hour?
let me ask another question. we're talking hours a day, can that be considered then a weekly salary? You know, and included, you know, whatever that would be.
That's $1,200 a week.
Okay, could we say $1,200 a week, and that would include any meetings that they would have to attend? That would take care
We
of it.
can do it any way we want.
Mhm.
I know, I'm just, we're having to talk and throw out, so I'm
Well, I
trying to
know
do it.
you're asking, but I mean, yes, we can do that. I think Rex had a great point. Both of these people aren't here to make hours. That's not their point.
That's the reason I
And
suggested
so I
by a
think
weekly.
if we give them some latitude with with the personality of the person that we have appointed, I can tell you that she will be as agreeable to work and get the job done, whether it's 3 hours a day or 11 hours a day. I guarantee you.
Mhm. Okay,
So we should take advantage of that. We're gonna need some extra money.
I agree wholeheartedly. I'm not,
I know, I'm just saying,
I know.
that's what we should do.
So clerk, how much extra money are we saving? Can you tell us off the top of the head, off the top of your computer? I mean,
By
from
the hour, by the week, by the
No,
month,
no,
by
no.
the year?
I'm getting really confused, you know? We have a tendency just to beat a horse and beat a horse and beat a horse.
You're going to save about $65,000 a year, but it's not going to last a year, so.
We're gonna save $65,000 a year because of no
No
fringe
benefits,
benefits and so forth. Okay,
so you'd say
So-
about $4,000.
so I'm still preferring the 70,000. But, and we're saving that kind of money to possibly use somewhere else in our budget. Because in some regards, an interim that attacks the job, it's going to be kind of difficult to begin with, I think. Not that she's not going to have the advantage of seeing all of us there every once in a while.
Yes.
But that's just what I think. And so with X number of dollars saved, I expect this person to take charge and run, and I expect this person to be able to make suggestions and tell us at our meetings what's going on and keep us up to date to the minute of what's going on in the city from their standpoint. And
So if we go with Jerry's idea of 70,000, what was that weekly?
1346.15. $1,346.15.
what is it an hour?
3365.
Again, could we not speak to her first to see what is she expecting? What is?
It's easier to go up than to go down.
I'm not opposed to that. I think
Well, that's what we should do.
Okay,
In my
then.
opinion, we're trying to decide, we didn't
somebody
put
want-
out an ad. In the ad, it didn't say that we're willing to pay this is the benefit. We didn't do any of
didn't
that.
say anything.
So now that we've appointed and we have someone, I think the most appropriate way to deal with that is to sit down with them and say,
Negotiate.
No, but
Okay,
we need,
let's go.
we need
Fine.
an idea of where we need it from our side.
well, we're not gonna go, that's why I said 60,000. She may say, no, I gotta have more than that. Well, what do you gotta have? Well, then we have to come back here and say, okay, here's the arrangement.
And I agreed with the 60,000 for the
I'm
same
just saying that you gotta start somewhere.
I don't disagree with that.
Well, it sounds
I
like we're
totally
trying
agree
to,
with
we got a dartboard here we're throwing around,
Well,
I'm just trying to figure out. we
Somebody
gotta
needs to
channel-
make a motion that we have
I
somebody.
make
What
a
did we-
motion for
what-
60,000.
Second.
What did we pay
I wanted to discuss.
McGinnis last time?
For some reason, and go ahead, I'm sure you know.
$35.61 an hour. It was the wage that Hubbard was making when he left.
When was that?
2014.
2014.
So 4 years ago, he'd be making more than 70,000.
Well, what
What
about what the mayor suggested?
Why don't I talk to her then?
Did you second?
If somebody's gotta do something, I'll be glad to do it.
I'm not opposed to
Is
that.
somebody opposed to that? Unless somebody else wants to sit down and say, and somebody's got to talk to her. And it should be somebody that's voted for and that we support her. It should be,
One of the
That's fine.
council members versus Adrian?
I think it should certainly be somebody at this table. That's my opinion.
Do it.
And I volunteer because nobody else seemed to, first of all, is there somebody else that wants to sit down and talk to her?
Jerry, do you want to sit
I
down?
think I'm too slanted. I like the mayor's idea, let the mayor do it. You know, I feel strongly that it ought to be 70 grand. But I do agree that we need, the best approach is let the mayor sit down and talk with her and see what she expects. And then the mayor can come back with
Come
a
back and say,
report.
here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Here's what's being offered. Here's where we are. Is there opposition to that?
I have
I'm not
another
opposed.
question, though.
Rex, you should withdraw your
Right.
second.
I have another question. What did Marcus make? 'Cause
3561.
Marcus made 35.61, and he was not,
They made the same amount hourly.
well,
Well, let's do 35.
then,
Are you opposed to
I mean,
that?
that was
Their
40
backgrounds.
yeah,
Remember their
yeah,
backgrounds.
yeah, but Marcus wasn't, was he a city administrator prior
Oh,
to?
yeah, from Lynn Haven, for
Okay.
years.
Okay.
What does the rest of the group here think about letting the mayor be the negotiator? Do we have to make a motion?
I
for
don't
No,
have it.
no, it's
Okay.
just a matter of something, we
I
gotta
don't have
move forward with
Well,
making
no.
a decision.
Yeah, lunch is
Finding out
coming
what
up
she
here
wants. We
before
don't
long.
know.
I don't have a problem with that. I worry because the past,
You don't worry more than me, I can
The
tell you that, okay? Let's be clear.
the relationship that.
Would you like someone to be
Tanya
with you?
And
Well,
Alan had, you know, I
I
mean,
voted
that
for it.
concerns me.
I know that.
Okay,
concerns me.
so, I mean, if you're welcome to do it.
I mean, I don't care, I mean, I'll do it, I don't care. But,
I'll do it, let's move on. I'll come back, everybody will know
Is
what.
that
okay,
okay?
but what are
That's
we
fine
starting
with
with?
me.
Are we
Is that okay
starting
with
We're
with
gonna
60?
start with
or what?
60,000, we'll say this is what we're offering,
And what's our
and see how
highest?
she,
Okay.
$30 an hour, I think is what,
Or
I mean,
no.
that's so close to me that that's close enough.
Yeah.
Or the 33, or the 70,000, would that be our max? Could
No,
we?
no.
We're not-
no, we're not
He's
gonna-
just gonna negotiate,
Let-
period.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back and say,
Okay.
here is what
Right,
we have talked about, this is what she was willing to come to
Okay.
work for.
there you go. That's all it is.
Period.
When
End
do
of
we vote on
discussion.
that, Al? When would we vote on that, or next meeting?
Well, I'm gonna contact, you said she's leaving, so I need to talk to her today.
Yeah, she's leaving Monday. I think today would be best so she actually has time to work with Mel to get up to speed on some
Yeah.
things.
Well, it's a little bit awkward the way we've appointed someone and don't know that they're gonna come to work here. I mean, we gotta do some,
Yeah, I think that's
we
all
gotta
right.
negotiate
We just
with what she's
decided
gonna
that.
do.
You're
But
gonna
if she
negotiate.
will, and we're in the 30,000, $30 an hour is acceptable under a contract, then we'll have to just get that drawn up.
Right.
All right,
And she can come to work tomorrow, as far as, I mean, we've hired her.
right,
Are
but,
you gonna do that today?
I plan to, absolutely. I mean, he's leaving, she's leaving.
So today, earliest today as possible.
And so, you know, we gotta
Okay.
We
all
gotta go.
right, so
Done.
I'm just gonna throw another iron in the fire. All right, just, you start out with $30 an hour, or 60, whatever you're starting out with. If she says no, can we give Al right now the go-ahead to say cap of what he can hire her with
Yes.
at this point?
No
So
higher.
then we don't have to come back and start this whole discussion again. You start out with A, but you know you can go up to B.
That's fine.
The cap up,
That's an excellent
the
suggestion.
cap up to
Yeah.
what the salary is.
70 is,
Yeah.
give me a number for 70 per hour. 30,
33.65
Mm-hmm.
and 13.46 a week.
I'm just worried about the hourly rate. That's
I think it's up to
We can
Al
do
to
the math.
negotiate, period.
Well,
Well, I
I
know,
agree
but I
with giving
mean-
him the
Well,
cap.
we'll
I
go
think
over.
that's
good.
proper.
That's right.
Between
That
60
is
and
good.
70.
And
70 is the
then,
max.
and then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
settled today.
Yeah.
Then we don't have to come back and discuss it.
Absolutely.
You surely don't want to come back.
Oh, no.
We can ratify a contract on Tuesday morning. We can ratify Tuesday morning at the meeting.
Yeah, we
Get it
can
done.
formalize.
Yeah,
Right,
we
right,
can-
but she,
yeah, yeah.
but she could still come in tomorrow.
Sure.
Today, 5 minutes from now, whatever.
Okay,
Absolutely,
fine.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, great.
All right, no more than 33.65, 30 and $30, between 30 and 33.65.
So when
What's
she
that?
says no, then we gotta come back and talk.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously.
That's the nature of the business.
All right, are there any other comments concerning, and I will report back, I'll send an email to Mel or to Adrian, most likely, he's in the HR, that can be distributed, just so you'll know what,
Please.
what everybody will know.
Okay,
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Thank you,
thank you.
thank everyone for coming.